Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Alfif. So in this occasion, I'd like to tell to you, explain to you about my thesis proposal. The title is The Translation of Cultural Elements in Children's Storybook, Gulli-Danda into Indonesian. Before that, I want to tell you about my name. My name is Alfif Fawasadahan, and here's my student number. So let's get started. We start from background. So children's storybooks are literary works intended as reading books for children. Types of literary works are prose, poetry, and drama. In general, prose means a fictional story that has aspects of characters, plot, themes, and the whole story is produced from the researcher's imagination by Khairuddin and Radmila in 2017. And translating children's literary work is not easy. A translator faces obstacles when translating the researcher's moral and messages. Dialects, source language cultural constraints, and writing style into source language by Newmark in 1988. And last cultural references or CRs, according to all 2001, refer to those lexical items which are absent in target culture or deviate from equivalence in denotative or connotative meaning. Next, research question. We have three research questions here. The first one is what cultural elements are found in the Indonesian translation? And the second one is what translation strategies that are used in the children's storybook Gulli-Danda? And the last one is how does cultural borrowing in the Indonesian translation affect the understanding and reception of the children's storybook Gulli-Danda by Indonesian readers? Next, we have objectives of the research. We have three objectives of the research. The first one, to identify cultural are found in the Indonesian translation. And the second one, to analyze translation strategies that are used in the children's storybook Gulli-Danda. And the third one, to discuss the type of borrowing on the translation of the children's storybook Gulli-Danda by Indonesian readers. And next, previous research. We have three previous research. The first one, the title is Cultural Elements in the Translation of Children's Literature, Persian translation of Roald Dahl's Matilda in Focus. The researcher are Abed and Dastarji. And the second one, the title is Translating Culture in Children's Literature, a case study on the Turkish translation of letters from Father Christmas. The researcher is Awasna. And the last one, the title is The Cultural Aspect of Translation, the workability of cultural translation strategies in translating culture-specific texts. The researcher is Hastur Koglu. Next, we have research method. So during this course of this research, there are several challenges that I anticipate encountering. So there are four. The first one is language factors, and the second one is social issues factors, and the third one is religion or belief factors, and the last one is cultural factors. Aside Nida in Hood, 2006, page 24. And next we have research method 2. Type of research is qualitative study case, and research instrument are the researcher and the data, and data source are the sentences and phrases in the children's storybook Gulli-Danda, and data analysis technique that I use is categorization. This is the picture of the first data, and this is the example of the first data. Both of data is Gulli. The first one, Gulli translated into English, the wooden ball that is hit and swung in the air. And the second one, Gulli translated to Indonesia, potongan kayu kecil yang dipukul dan dilemparkan ke udara sebagai bola dalam permainan Gulli-Danda. So let's have an explanation. The first explanation, in the examples given, the term Gulli is borrowed from another culture and used in two different contexts. In the first example, Gulli refers to a wooden ball that is hit and swung in the air, representing a traditional game or activity. And in the second example, Gulli is used to describe a small piece of wood that is hit and thrown in the air, resembling a ball in the game of Gulli-Danda. In this case, the translation strategy employed is loan translation or call, but the term Gulli is directly translated into the borrowing language. Cultural borrowing refers to the process of adapting and incorporating elements from one culture into another. It involves the transfers of ideas, practices, objects, or even language from a source culture to a recipient culture. And we have the second picture of the data. And the second example of the data, both of them are chamar, but the difference is the first one, chamar, translated to English too, the case of leather workers, also a man from the case of leather workers. The story is from a time when a person was mainly known by his or her case, just as it used to be perfectly normal to call a black person negro or nigger in America. And the second one, chamar translated to Indonesia, kasta para pengolah kulit atau orang yang berasal dari kasta tersebut. Cerita ini berasal dari zaman ketika seseorang biasa dikenal melalui kastanya. Sama seperti di Amerika Serikat ketika orang berkulit hitam biasa disebut negro atau nigger. Let's have an explanation. The second explanation. In the examples given, the term chamar is borrowed from another culture too and used in two different contexts. In the first example, chamar is described as the case of leather workers, as well as a man from that case. This reflects a specific social hierarchy and occupational group within a particular culture. And in the second example, chamar is used to describe the same case and its members, but in a different language. The translation strategy employed is the direct translation of the term chamar into the borrowing language. As I stated before, cultural borrowing refers to the process of adapting and incorporating elements from one culture into another. It can involve the transfer of ideas, practices, objects, or even language from a source culture to a recipient culture. And cultural borrowing and translation strategy play a very significant roles in the exchange and integration of cultural elements. But it's crucial to approach this discussion with respect and understanding of the cultural nuances involved. I think that's all from me. Thank you for your good attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.